Folks, it is time suiting up for another episode of the Soul Sessions with me today. But, it's a bit of an experience here, but we have the man all about experiences, Sam Barbour. Welcome to the show, pal.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, it's my pleasure, pal. But, Sam, what I love to do with every guest, it's the old saying, every guest has a story and every story has a beginning. I want to know, Sam, how did your story begin as a wrestling fan?
Yeah, so as a wrestling fan, like many others, it started when I was quite young. So I believe my first memory was about 4 or 5 years old, sort of thing. So my dad was really into wrestling, and that's when I remember watching wrestling for the first time. He was really into it. He grew up in like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Rabson Rick Rude, Rick Martel, that sort of kind of 80s era sort of thing. So it was on in the background when I was growing up, sort of thing as well. When I was like playing with my toys, he was watching wrestling. So I think like wrestling's like always been a part of my life, sort of thing. And my first memory of wrestling was there was a video rental shop called Global Video. Yeah, so Global Video, and the first pay-per-view that I rented from Global Video was Armageddon 1999.
Oof,
Yeah.
too sorry.
Yeah, so Armageddon 1999. And the first video that I owned myself was Fully Loaded 1999. So it was about as you can tell, 1999 period that I remember becoming a fan, sort of thing. And that was like just the start of that Attitude Era as well. So like, plenty of storylines as well, plenty of characters to buy into, which is something that I myself have kind of took inspiration from, because wrestling, I believe, is all about the characters. Absolutely, 100%. Like, you could be the best wrestler in the world, but if you don't have a character that people buy into, then nah, like, cool, very good. Like, you're never going to make it, in my opinion, anyway. So yeah, it was late 90s that my first foray into wrestling happened.
Fair time indeed, and that time was so special as well. But something you mentioned that I want to touch upon is, renting videos and tapes and all that, because obviously here in the UK we wouldn't get it live. We kind of get a bit of delay later in the time for us. And it shows that those tapes, especially that kind of business, was so integral. Do you think with the UK wrestling scene, if we didn't have rental stores and tapes, our wrestling scene might not have been as strong as it is now?
Yeah, for sure. The thing that I feel that really helped the the scene here as well, and like the evidence is with Impact recently, just this week, having been to the UK. So Impact was free on TV. So when I grew up, Raw and SmackDown were both free on TV as well. So my routine was, I stayed at my dad's on a Friday night, watched Raw from like 10 till midnight on the Friday, and then on Saturday morning on Sky One, that's when you can catch up on SmackDown as well. So there wasn't any like BT Sports, TNT, or anything like that as well. So the fact that it was like free for kids to watch as well, like I think that really helped the industry. And the fact that, like as you said, the tapes are so like readily available as well for us. Like, I didn't know anyone that really done the kind of tape trading scene sort of thing as well, because there was like Global Video, because there was like Blockbuster, stuff like that as well. You could easily just like kind of go to the shop, rent your favorite pay-per-view. There's usually a wee selection of it. There was a mix of like WWF and WCW. There was probably ECW. I wasn't really into that at the time as well. So there was a mix depending on your style that you liked. There was definitely something there for you, sort of thing.
No, of course, absolutely. And it's such a special form of media as well, having that physical copy as well. Your internet's not going to go down, you can't watch your favorite match because the network's off for some weird reason. We've seen it now, like WWE wind down their DVD releases in the States. AEW have done some DVDs, and it's no Impact has done as well. Do you think with that medium dying out in our modern age, is a bit of a sad, end to an era?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, and the thing is as well, like there was, like as I mentioned before, the tape trading scene as well. Like, something that I didn't take part in myself, but you hear about it all the time. You hear that's how like Tony Khan got into wrestling as well, through his tape trading, and from that it was like hidden gems, things that like were maybe like recorded in a show in Japan, but it was a very small town sort of thing, and then like, oh my god, you need to see this, and it's just a kind of a word of mouth sort of thing as well. So yeah, it's definitely a shame to see that medium die, because like for example, like last night, Community Pro Wrestling, we were in Tarbert last night. There was some like fantastic shows, some fantastic matches on that card as well, and it's things that like could be a hidden gem sort of thing as well. So that's the great thing about getting to like a Community Pro Wrestling, like supporting your kind of local scene sort of thing as well. Just getting to experience those perhaps hidden gems live, you know.
Hey, very true indeed. You never know where the gem could be in our great country. But obviously, Scotland itself is a great country, and we've seen that with Impact. They came over and had a show here, and also their gut check as well. I mean, they could have chose anywhere. They had one down south, but they chose Glasgow to have their gut check. I want to know,
Yeah.
Sam, do you feel like a sense of pride, like Impact chose Glasgow to have their gut check?
Yeah, absolutely. So like there's a couple of things that I'm proud of. I'm proud of he's for as much as I dislike him, like Ravie-Davie and I, like we're always going to be intertwined, and it's through Ravie-Davie's hard work in the Scottish wrestling scene and deciding to go out on his own and build his own thing. So it's through that hard work that like Impact gravitated towards Glasgow and Joe Hendry as well. Like I've been under the Joe Hendry learning tree for quite some time now. If you go on YouTube, you'll see like an interview with myself and Joe Hendry from like years ago as well. Like I feel that like Joe's always been like a fan of like my character sort of thing as well, and he's always been quite hopeful for me. And obviously Joe was quite integral into this UK tour as well. But yeah, there's absolutely a sense of pride for Impact choosing Glasgow, and not only choosing Glasgow, but choosing Ravie-Davie's school essentially to host that, because as you know, there's a number of schools in Glasgow, but the fact that like they chose Ravie-Davie's is just like fantastic, and it was cool. Myself, I was part of that gut check as well in Glasgow, and it was just a cool experience sort of thing. It definitely wasn't what I expected, but yeah, it was cool to be part of that, get to meet some people, get like a wee bit of feedback on where I am just now and where like these guys who are making a full-time living, which is my dream, to see their opinion of what I need to do to go to that next level, to be essentially where they are, you know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, the gut check, when I heard about it being released, Impact would do a press release and they talk about all like the judges they have there and what the experience would be like for wrestlers going there. I want to know from yourself, I'm entering that environment. Was it kind of like an advanced kind of seminar? Like you're projecting yourself, but then you're getting the feedback and learning.
It's actually what you'd find if you went to the Glasgow one, because like from different kinds I've heard, the Glasgow one, the Coventry one were two completely different experiences. But I think for myself, like I'm occasionally a teacher at the Glasgow School of Wrestling. The gut check in Glasgow was more about the basics, and if you had your fundamentals down as well, because like I feel that you can like get a good feel for someone judging on their fundamentals as well, judging how they roll, how they position themselves, if they're safe. Like within the gut check, we got maybe about 15 seconds to show a wee bit of flourish of character as well. And it's how you get that character across within that 15 seconds, well, because by no stretch of the imagination is it a long time. So you need to make it count as well. There was 84 participants within the Glasgow gut check as well. So quite a lot of people, but 84 people that understood that this is a big opportunity for them to go on to that next level and make them like potentially earn a living from wrestling, which at the end of the day is what we all want to do, sort of thing. So from those few seconds that you had within the ring, Scott Demower, Walking Weapon, Joe Hendry, Gil Kim, like they could see like where you were, sort of thing as well. So it was a cool experience, and yeah, I don't think it'll be the last for me as well.
Yeah, that's great to see, my friend. I've had previous guests I know that went to it. Ravie-Davie, Jan the Slavic one. I know Krieger was thinking of going as well, Martin McAllister. And it's truly just great to see that the whole Scottish scene especially are getting there and going and having chances. And I want to know, Sam, yourself, do you think maybe like Impact is now opening the door for more Scottish talent to get eyesight on?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that with the fact that Grado was on the Glasgow show, the fact that Joe Hendry was on the Glasgow show, the fact that Emerson Jane was on the Glasgow show, that's like 3 Scottish people right there as well. And I think that we spoke about it earlier, but there are some hidden gems within Scottish wrestling as well. Some people to like absolutely keep an eye on as well. Like for example, like he's turning 20 in about a week's time, but Ronan King, I'm a massive fan of his, and like I think the sky's the limit for him as well. So I really hope for the people that are younger than me as well, because I feel like I'm like kind of the top end of it, for the fact that the people that are younger than me, I really hope that there are more opportunities given to the Scottish wrestling scene as well. And like that is in no small part to Joe Hendry. So need to be thankful for him.
I always be thankful for Joe Hendry because he's the one that believes. But Sam, with age comes wisdom, my friend. So never put yourself down. Wisdom is always a great thing to have. Give it to the younger talent and see what they can do. But I know, obviously, Sam, you've held some titles around your waist. You've held the title that we've had featured on the show here before, the Scottish Interpromotional Championship. That's held by Frankie Cross, the good man himself, the cowboy. I want to know, winning that title, was that a very big moment for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So that was the first singles title that I had held in my career. So I started wrestling in 2015, won that last year. So that was like 7 years. So that was 7 years in the making for me. So it was quite a proud moment, short-lived moment nonetheless. But yeah, I was very happy to have given, like, had that opportunity, had that wee moment sort of thing as well, and be able to like leave momentarily with the belt. So yeah, that was very cool, and I like the concept of the interpromotional belt as well. I feel that the Scottish wrestling scene should work together as well. It shouldn't be a kind of us versus them mentality, which you do see a lot as well. Like there's a saying, "What's good for the goose is good for the gander," sort of thing as well. So yeah, I feel that like we need to try and get rid of this negative mentality that a lot of wrestlers have and just kind of bring each other up, sort of thing as well. I like me myself, I'm all about kind of like positivity sort of thing as well. So the fact that there was that Pro 2 and the promotional championship, I think that's very good sort of thing. And I hope that other promotions do follow suit and also have titles that could be used on like kind of multiple promotions, though. Just bring a wee prestige to the title and like bring everyone up,
Oh, absolutely. We're all working together at the end of the day. We are all, Scottish fans, Scottish wrestlers. We represent our wee little island of iron brew drinkers and having fun here. I mean, who knows, we could see in the future, maybe like ICW, Pro Wrestling Ready, Discovery, Pro 2, Iron Girders, and, just Community Pro Wrestling have a big super show maybe. I mean, I would wonder, where would that be? Would that be at the Hydro in Glasgow or maybe in Edinburgh at Murrayfield Stadium? Because I don't want to walk far. I want to go easy paced to my stadium and have a relaxing time. I want to know, Sam, say if a big Scottish wrestling super show happened, have you got a stadium in mind you would love to see it partake in?
Yeah, I'd feel that I was speaking about this the other day in our card. I feel that the pinnacle of Scottish wrestling, the peak of Scottish wrestling, was the ICW SECC show. Like that was the moment for Scottish wrestling as well. I know we done Hydro. Hydro was cool, but the SECC was pretty much all Scottish wrestling talent, bar maybe a couple of people, but they weren't really featured on the matches. So it was cool just to sell that SECC, or it's now called SEC, out pretty much all by ourselves, sort of thing, on the name value of Scottish wrestling alone, without having to rely on people who'd like maybe come from WWE, came from Impact, came from wherever, sort of thing as well. So I feel that if there was to be a super show, like ideally I would like it in CC, but in saying that, a venue close to my heart would also be the Barrowland Ballroom in Glasgow as well.
Oh, I've never been myself, but I've always heard that it's such a very special venue. Like I've heard some people compare it to like it's the Scottish Hammerstein. It's just how special it is. Would you agree with that, Sam?
Yeah, absolutely. Like not even just from a wrestling point of view, at Hammerstein, like so cool. A lot of like famous musicians performed in there as well, and like same with the Barrow Ballroom as well. It's just like it's a venue synonymous with like Scottish music, international music as well, and it's like in terms of like the music scene, like
Mhm.
King Tut's is like well known. Like for like in Glasgow, that's where Oasis started out within Glasgow. Biffy Clyro started out, all these kind of internationally renowned bands. And then the next step up from that is the Barrowland Ballroom. So yeah, like me, I would love a show in a Barrowland Ballroom, but you'd want to sell more tickets, so then that's why you'd go to the SACC.
Hey, you never know what could happen. History could happen anywhere here in Scottish wrestling. But obviously, with you mentioned ICW, and if I mention, Scottish wrestling to anyone down south or in Ireland or Wales and everything, they always think of ICW. But they always say like, oh, that's the wrestling company that was featured on that documentary, the Fight Club documentary, the 2 documentaries about ICW, and they were quite important to ICW as well, just with how much exposure they got from it. And have you seen those documentaries, Sam?
Yeah. I've seen the documentaries.
Do you agree with they were kind of like special in building up ICW's knowledge?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think it's one of the things that like it brought awareness to the Scottish wrestling scene. So we're recording this on Monday night. Tomorrow night there's a WWE live show, and I guarantee that like a lot of people going to that WWE live show tomorrow won't be aware that there is a Scottish wrestling scene as well. So the fact that there was a program on the BBC Council TV on Scottish wrestling, yeah, absolutely massive. Same with the Vice documentary as well. Absolutely massive and really helped the Scottish wrestling scene at the time as well. So yeah, I feel that like maybe to bring that back, that boom back, we do need something very similar to that.
Do you think maybe like a documentary on ICW again, or do you think maybe there's another promotion that could get a good shine from having a film crew follow them?
Yeah, I feel that ICW don't need that anymore. I feel that like yes, spread the love. Like I was saying earlier, I feel that there's more of a kind of a movement on a more of a grassroots, undefined, unpolished scene, such as community pro wrestling. Like I would love a documentary on community pro wrestling, on Glasgow School of Wrestling, on Ravie-Davie. Ravie-Davie's essentially had as you know yourself, with the interview that you've had with him, a very hard life, a very kind of tough upbringing, and I think that like the turnaround in him, the turnaround and like where essentially he could have been compared to now, like a successful person with his own wrestling school, with his own promotion, in that promotion touring Scotland as well. Like last night, I was wrestling a guy from Canada as well, so he's bringing in all these international names. He's bringing in Eric Young, he's bringing in Santino Marella, he's got Simon Miller. So I feel that if there was to be a documentary, it would be featuring Ravie-Davie, whether that talks about him, whether that talks about community pro wrestling and trying to revive the Scottish scene, because there's no two ways about it. It does need a wee bit of adrenaline shot to the heart. Or if it talks about Glasgow School of Wrestling as well, because Glasgow School of Wrestling is a place that's quite close to my heart as well. And there's like, we teach kids from 5 years old, and like the oldest trainee, I think, is about 42. So there's different classes and stuff like that, but different abilities and some perhaps like vulnerable people as well that are in it as well. So it's just good to see that like wrestling gives people that release sort of thing that they need, like kind of saved by wrestling, like as I said, such as like Ravie-Davie. If Ravie-Davie never found wrestling, then don't know where it'd be. And I feel that there's like multiple people within the Glasgow School of Wrestling that could have that same story as well. So yeah, documenting something like that would be absolutely fantastic and just kind of bring more eyes to what we're doing on a grassroots level sort of thing.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you there. And I remember when I had Ravie-Davie on, he talked about, training the young kids as well. And we'd have parents come up to them that say, that kid was really shy, but this is just bringing them out. They're having fun. They're making new friends and everything. And it's just it's really special. Honestly, I cannot build it up any more than it is. It's just truly a special thing. You got to take some pride in that, Sam, as well, knowing that that's
Yeah,
happening.
and it's quite like for me, I don't know, quite. I can be a quite emotional person as well, and there's been times where like I'm actually like crying in the class just because I like how much like that impacts you, like just the impact that you're having on the kids, sort of thing as well. It's just like amazing, and just like firsthand seeing them come out of those shells, sort of thing as well, and gain that wee bit of confidence, and just like build like a friend circle within the wrestling school as well. I think that's so cool. Like growing up, I never had friends that were into wrestling, and really my only friends that are into wrestling do wrestling as well. So yeah, like at school, I was like made fun of for liking wrestling, like, and high school still made fun of for liking wrestling as well. So it's really cool, just like giving the kids, giving the teenagers, giving the adults like common grounds with one another as well, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, Community Pro is just doing so many great things. Well, I had a giveaway here for the government anniversary show that was too nice, and someone won that. And it was just great to see that someone else is going to go there and see that show and get to see all the great talent. Because I remember, when I had Ravie-Davie on, he mentioned, the women's tournament as well, and Nicole Jasmine with her great promo on Instagram. And I think like there's just so many great women talent, especially in Community Pro. And I want to know, Sam, as well, who else do you think, like from the women's side of Community Pro, is doing so well?
Yeah, so to be fair, I had never seen her wrestle until last night, but I was very impressed by Iona Sky.
Oh,
So Iona Sky is from Tarbert, where we were last night as well. And the first time I met Iona Sky, she was just a fan, essentially, a young fan. Like GPWA, the school that I trained at, like we went to Tarbert 4 or 5 years ago. So that's like the first time I met her. And last night was the first time I'd seen her wrestle. Obviously, she's been training since then as well. And I was very impressed by her as well. So I think she's got a bright future for sure. Absolutely. Like you said, Nicole Jasmine, she's good. She's got a lot of fire as well. Like she wants it, sort of thing. And Ellie Armstrong as well. Big fan of Ellie Armstrong as well. I think she's magic at what she does, really. So yeah, like the three of them were in a match last night as well, and it was good.
Truly stunning to see. And obviously, I know within Community Pro, they have a championship that's held by a previous guest of the show, the old Thatcher Wright, controversial individual he is indeed. And I want to know, Sam, that's got to be in your sights, my friend. You got to want to get that gold off Thatcher, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's not even just getting that gold off Thatcher Wright. Like I want to take that belt off him, rip it from his hands, and then parade it around the UK and around the world. Like, absolutely. I feel that, like I was saying, like Spectre Wealth, I would love to take that CPW championship and perhaps make it an international championship. I mean, like, I've got places in France that I can go. I've got places in Spain that I can go, Portugal that I can go, Ireland that I can go. Just like make it a CPW world title. Like that is the dream for me.
That would be a very stellar thing to see indeed. And, a personal favorite thing of mine in wrestling is the Custom Old Championship. Jay Briscoe is ROH World Champion. Cena with the spinner belt, which is the best WWE Championship. I will fight on that hill just to annoy people. I want to know, Sam, if you got the CPW Championship and you could put your own little experience on it, how would you make it represent you?
Now, the first thing I do is make that strap pink. Absolutely. Ooh. Take that strap, rip it off, make it pink. Absolutely. Side plates, we can get a wee bit of customization there as well. So I'd have SBX on one side, and then I'd have a lollipop on the other side. The motif of SBX, the handsome man, a wee lollipop on there, and you keep the main plate as itself because you still want to represent the company. But yeah, that's how I do it. So a wee bit of SBX, wee lollipop, and a pink strap.
Hey, I'm thinking it right now. Replicas are going to be flying off the shelf. I'll have one right behind me. That'll be absolutely fine for the collection. But Sam, another thing I love in the Soul Session is learning and teaching. I know you face somebody who's maybe not having the best record right now in Scottish wrestling. Good old Martin McAllister. He's over 50 odd losses right now. And I want to know if you could speak to him right now and give him a bit of advice on getting that one win, his first win. What advice would you give?
Do you know what? I would say to him that he needs to want it more.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I feel that, cool, very good. I think he's getting accustomed to losing now, and he's not really getting riled up by it. Like, if I was Mark McAllister, I would want to win by hook or by crook. Man, if that means you need to grab the tights, if that means you need to poke someone in the eye, like, just get rid of that losing record, because it's starting to become a bit of a joke, really. And like, see, if Mark McAllister wants to be taken seriously, if he wants to get taken to that next level, if he wants to hold a championship within Scottish wrestling, then first he needs to lose that losing streak. He needs to just get rid of it. He needs to throw it away and be taken as a serious contender. So, Martin, if you're watching this by hook or by crook, that's my advice to you.
Hey, so I think that's fair advice. We all got to have that drive and passion to do more. And I know in Community Pro as well, when Ravie-Davie was on, he mentioned the possibility of tag titles being introduced to the company. And I want to know, Sam, if you have the opportunity to go for these inaugural titles, have that on your record, you're going to have a partner. Who would you want?
Yeah, absolutely. So the history of SBX is not very successful with tag team partners, and I say that as someone who has held tag team gold before. Yeah, the might be a bit of a cursed faction, but the Handsome Man's Club has had various members throughout its history. The one constant is SBX, but as I mentioned before, I would big fan of Ronan King, and I'd love to tag with him to go to that dance of the tag team tournament.
Well, I think maybe the King Experience could be your future Community Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions. I'm envisioning it right now, my friend. That could be a factual history as well. But also, Community Pro, you mentioned they're bringing in so many great names, especially from Impact, Santino, Eric Young, Simon Miller down south. I want to know, Sam, is there any other kind of big names from across the pond in the States you would love to see in a Community Pro Wrestling ring?
Yeah, like he's one of my favorites. I would love to see Alex Shelley. Like, we grew up with Alex Shelley. I think Alex Shelley is a great name. Like, he's synonymous with TNA Impact, and I said that was like free on TV as well. So big fan base. I would love to see Alex Shelley in a CPW ring. And do you know what? See if he brings Chris Sabin. Cool. Class Motorcycle Machine Guns, one of the best tag teams in the world. 100%. Like, that'd be amazing. And on a personal note, I would love to see the likes of Wheeler Yuta from AEW
Oh,
in a CPW ring. I met Wheeler Yuta when I was in Germany back in 2019. So we do have a wee bit of history, one another. And to my knowledge, he's never set foot in Scotland. So it would be fantastic, first of all, to show Wheeler Yuta what a Venom is. And two, to pin him in a CPW ring.
well, I mean, Sam, that would be a hell of a pin. But Wheeler Yuta's got some backup in the Blackpool Combat Club. Claudio Moxley and the good old American Dragon Brian Danielson. Say you pin Yuta, and then you're gonna have to go against the BCC. You're gonna have to have three other guys back you up. Is there people in mind?
Oh yeah, I mean, like, so just coming off the back of that weekend there, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's a comedy genius, and I've not seen it, but I heard it's a fantastic match. Mox and Be Cool from OTT.
Oh,
So
I'm not
if you
sure. I've
don't know
heard of
Be
it. I've
Cool,
not seen it.
yeah, if you don't know Be Cool from OTT, definitely look him up. Like, one of the funniest guys that you'll ever see within wrestling as well. And Be Cool has a few friends in OTT as well. So yeah, we could maybe kind of draw upon that. Or if I was to choose my own team to go against the Blackpool Combat Club, I'd definitely choose CJ West. I'd bring him in. He's a bit of a character as well, and you should fear the axe handle.
Oh, and I've had CJ on. He's mentioned his old axe handle. I mean, it's a bit of a devastating move there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like so, Mikey Devine, like he was taking the mick at CJ West, and he tried to do an axe handle, but he couldn't handle giving an axe handle, and almost broke his ankle from the devastation. So yeah,
Oh,
like I think you need to be a master to even give an axe handle. So yeah, if a kid bring someone into face BCC, be cool, cool. CJ West, and then would I need one more then?
yeah, one more. Maybe, or you may be thinking of Ronan King again, you know?
Yeah, I do Ronan King. I do Ronan King. I think he could steal the show with all the fantastic stuff that he does.
Well, that'd be a hell of a match to see. And I know CPW tickets would be flying off the shelves for them kind of event. Ooh, spicy indeed. But also, you mentioned, Alex Shelley there. He is the Impact World Champion, but I know Impact announced they're going to rebrand back to TNA. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a hell of a thing. They've been Impact for quite a while, and now all of a sudden they're like, we're TNA again. As a fan, seeing that come back, why do you think they're doing it now of all times?
I think there's something to be said for the nostalgia aspect of it, and like, see, just like from a marketing point of view as well. As stupid as it sounds, I think TNA is the right call. It's cool to go back to TNA. Like, it's an easier chant, like
Mm,
TNA, rather than like Impact Wrestling. Like, you can straight Impact Wrestling, but TNA just sounds better. As I said, it's got that nostalgia aspect as well. Like when you think of TNA, you think of Sting, you think of Kurt Angle, you think of Samoa Joe, you think of AJ Styles, you think of all the guys like back in the day. Like TNA's got that history, whereas Impact might be like not as well known within the wrestling community. Like when you speak to lapsed fans and tell them about Impact, like,
mm.
all right, okay, but then when you bring up TNA, like, oh yeah, I know TNA. So yeah, I think it's absolutely a smart thing for Scott D'Amore to do.
Absolutely. And I know obviously TNA had some beautiful, beautiful belts as well. The world that had that Winged Eagle original design, and then with the big TNA wrestling design that I can't believe they got rid of. That was absolutely perfect. Why? The tag belts, they were beautiful as well. Those one had many names: Legends, TV, King of the Mountain, Brown Strap belt. That was hell of a beauty, introduced by Booker T. And obviously the Knockouts belt as well. As a fan, Sam, which do you think they should bring back, all those classic design belts?
Yeah, I feel that like with the Universal Championship within WWE, like they took inspiration from old and made it new.
Mm.
Didn't necessarily come off the way I thought it would, but I feel that with the rebrand back to TNA, you can certainly take inspiration from all those like old belts and make them new again. Like you said, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, like amazing. And then like how do you take that and make it new again, sort of thing as well. So yeah, like absolutely take inspiration from it, but don't carbon copy it.
Right, fair enough. Well, we've got to advance the future. You can look back, but we're always moving forward. And, it's always great to be moving forward. Because our UK scene right now, even in Scotland and everywhere else, is just thriving. AEW coming over, ball in, WWE Money in the Bank, Clash of the Castle, maybe a WrestleMania if we're lucky enough. Toot, toot, hopefully so. But I want to know as well, Sam, when AEW are coming back next year, some people are thinking about what this main event is going to be. World Championship, a retirement match? Is it going to be Edge and Christian retiring? Is it going to be the Hardys versus Edge and Christian retiring? Is it going to be Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness? The Magician Man getting his one match back here in the UK. I want to know, Sam, have you got a match you would love to see on this show?
Nah, like I don't have a particular match that I would love to see. Like I feel that there's loads of matches that would be amazing to see, sort of thing. Like as you said, Edge and Christian, if they reunited or if they had a retirement match against each other, that'd be amazing. Same with the Hardy Boys. I was at WrestleMania when the Hardy Boys returned to WWE. Actually
Oh,
seen them in a ladder match the night before against the Young Bucks. That was absolutely insane. But I feel that with AEW, like whatever they bring to the table within the UK, like they'll make it count. You know what I mean? Like they won't just kind of dial it in. They'll make sure it's a big match. So yeah, fully trust whatever they do to be absolutely amazing. And they've probably got like ideas that I've not even thought of, sort of thing as well. So yeah, I think like ideally they'd put one of like the UK talents on a pedestal within the event as well, such as what they've done with Will Ospreay and Chris Jericho as well, like putting Ospreay on the pedestal. So yeah, ideally they'd put like maybe even a Scottish talent on a pedestal. But yeah, like whatever they do, I'm sure that will be amazing.
Well, hey Sam, we have you. You can be on that pedestal. You can finally kick Will Uri's ass in at Wembley Stadium and have a good old joy with that. But, you know, something I wanted to see personally, I wanted to see like a UK showcase battle royale, 10 men, 10 women, each getting their little thing on the 0 hour maybe. And I want to know, Sam, if that does happen next year, is there any minds that come like or like names that come to your mind that you would love to see in that kind of battle royale thing showcase for the UK talent?
Yeah, I feel that like within the UK, Ireland don't get the same amount of love. Like OTT, as I mentioned before, like I feel that they're one of the best promotions in Europe, maybe even like the world as well. And there's definitely some hidden gems there as well, such as like Jay. So Jay's just came off the back of a match with Kenta, which just like insane. Like this, like internationally renowned talent coming over from Japan, who's had an absolute banger with him. So yeah, I feel that the guys in Ireland, like if there was some sort of kind of showcase sort of thing, like they should be getting like a wee bit of the love as well, love that they don't necessarily get usually as well. No names like massively spring to mind. I feel that like you just need to kind of like work for it as well, sort of thing. And like being a professional wrestler, being an independent professional wrestler, is it can be like a full-time job in terms of the effort that you put into it, because like you need to do interviews, you need to put out your social media content, you need to like have these banger matches, you need to put yourself out in front of promotions to get these bookings sort of thing as well, and just be like world's known sort of thing as well. Next year, I believe Leighton Buzzard will be back in the country. So I can absolutely see him, if there was some sort of showcase thing, I can absolutely see him coming back and being part of it as well. Leighton Buzzard's like, it's just like, it's something that we've known for a while, but he's just kind of like blown up overnight sort of thing as well. Like as soon as he got that Ospreay match, he put himself out there, got the Ospreay match, and then from that, it's just sky's the limit for him, you know.
Yeah, you never knows that one moment can just send you skyrocket into the stars. It just takes some time to get there. But you know, Sam, I very much appreciate you coming on the Soul Session. So I'm going to end up with, finish up here with two questions. The first question I want to know, my friend, is as a Scottish wrestler, that's a hell of an identity to have representing our country. So I want to know, if you go abroad to Germany, States, Canada, Japan, or Mexico, and you have to explain to them, what is Scottish wrestling, what would you describe that to them as?
Yeah, Scottish wrestling's just magic, really. Like, I love Scottish wrestling because, like, it is a bit of a variety show. Like, so you've got guys like Grado. Grado is just like comedy genius sort of thing. Like, you can have the guys, the dads that have been like dragged to the show, like by their kids, laughing in stitches. Can make the grands laugh, make the mums laugh, make the dads laugh, sort of thing, and like give the parents, the adults, like some real value for money. Whereas we've also got guys such as like myself, such as like Leighton Buzzard winning cheat as well. Just like putting on like what could be considered as classics as well. So it's like I'd consider Scottish wrestling definitely a variety show, but like we touch on magic in it as well. Just like it's cool. It's good. I don't really know how to describe it really, but yeah, I love it, and hopefully you can tell it's kind of dear to my heart, sort of thing as well.
I think with all Scottish fans, wrestlers, it's a part of our identity and something we truly cherish, and it is magical indeed. And now, of course, Sam, the final question. It is the spooky month. We're nearly at the end of it. The jack-o'-lanterns are out, the geysers are out as well. It's going to be a fun time as well. So I want to end up here with, so many horror icons. Horror icons can lead to great attires. Sam, I want to know, if you had to base an attire off a horror icon, which one and why?
That's a very good question. One that I was not expecting Like Freddy Krueger's a classic, but like when you think of horror, like I just kind of think of him sort of thing. Not necessarily horror, but The Crow as well. That's like one of my favorite movies, and obviously Sting was based off that as well. Jason has went under like many different guises as well, from like normal Jason to Jason X in space and stuff like that. So mental. Something that earlier in my career that I used to do was a kind of grand entrance sort of thing. So I don't know if you've ever seen it. I 2 times now have done a Lion King entrance. Yeah, I had people hoist me up, take me to the ring in the Rafiki masks. My t-shirt at the time said Hakuna Ma Handsome. And I came out wearing a fur jacket because I myself was Simba for that moment. So yeah, in terms of a wrestling attire, it would need to be flamboyant. I would move away for one night only from the pink theme that I've currently got just now. And maybe just to kind of delve into the kind of 2000s, 90s nostalgia trend that we're going through just now, maybe it would be Jason X, big silver mask, similar to the pink balaclavas that I have. But yeah, silver mask, overalls, maybe add a wee bit touch of flash, wee bit of pizzazz to the overalls. But yeah, I think I can make it cool.
Well, you definitely got to get some dry ice to reference that scene in the sink and have that going at your side for the entrance. I think that would be absolutely minted indeed. But Sam, my friend, it's been a pleasure here having you on the Soul Sessions. But what I love to do every guest as well, if they love what they heard of you and they want to see the experience in person, what dates have you got lined up?
Yeah, so the next date I have is the 4th of November in Dunoon. So that's for Community Pro Wrestling. But if you can only go to, I was going to say one show, it's not really a one show, but yeah, the Weekender, the Gavaniversary, that is the shows that you need to get to. Like, just amazing. So, main event, night 2. Thatcher Wright, Ravie-Davie, who was the man who bettered me in the Govern Rumble. That could have been me. But yeah, main event, night 2. Night 2, there's also a ladder match advertised as well. Can't remember the last time there was a ladder match within Scottish wrestling, so you absolutely need to get to that. We've got Eric Young there. We've got Simon Miller there. So if you can get to a show, 100% get to the Gavaniversary. Try saying that 3 times fast.
A tongue twisted indeed. And then viewers, of course, I know in our modern age, people are lazy. They want all the streaming shows, everything now. They want to have their Amazon Prime delivery brought to them right at their doorsteps. So I will be putting Sam Barbour's Instagram link of the description of this video. You can click it, follow, and see the experience and see what's going on. But hey, thank you, Sam. Thank you, viewers. I would say the whole YouTube shtick, but it's been around since 2005. You know what's going on. I ain't got to say anymore. Thank you, viewers. And remember to stay tuned for more